So let's talk about a little bit about the Democratic res, short for reservation. Who are the contenders?
Well, the number one choice still seems to be Hillary. I think that there's a disconnect now between the mainstream media portrayal of Hillary Clinton, a future Hillary Clinton candidacy, and the Democrat rank and file feeling about about a Hillary Clinton candidacy going forward. The powers that be at CNN and MSNBC clearly have moved on from Hillary and don't think that she's going to be the candidate. But I don't think the people of the Democrat Party agree with that. I still see a lot of support out there for Hillary from these primary types. So,
all right. So we got Hillary, you think, is going to run. We have Cory Booker, who is sure to run. And he is very emotionally, I think, unstable, this guy. We have Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. Who else? Biden.
Joe Biden is probably the second, I would say, seeded pick. The former vice president of the United States seems to be unfazed by the fact that he'll be over 80 years old in his presidency, and also has a lot of handsiness issues in this Me Too, post-Me Too world. And I think it's important to remember, we're not talking about who people who are registered as Democrats would like to see in the White House. We're talking about who writes the checks and comes out to the Democrat primary events. That's who's going to control this process. So for those people, that's who we have to be mindful of guessing their preferences.
Right, but this time the socialist on the Democratic side has an opportunity to really go ahead. Last time, the rules were such that Hillary basically had it wrapped up with the superdelegates. Now, they've changed that somewhat.
Well, yeah, the cheating, too. Don't forget about that. So they cheated for, they fettered the debate questions. There was a lot of other, it wasn't just the superdelegates that helped Mrs. Clinton along.
Right, but that was a big part.
Right.
I mean, she had...
it was a big part, but I just always want to mention that they cheated for her. In addition to cheating, in other words, so there's two types of cheating. There's cheating to manipulate the rules in a dishonest way, which I think they did. And then also, they broke those rules themselves. But Bernie's going to be a main candidate if he wants it. I don't know. Has he expressed a strong interest in...
Not that I've heard. Yeah. I think Elizabeth Warren is the Bernie candidate.
Bernie's wife has some troubles with her engagement. Yeah, she is a former college president. Is that right?
That's correct.
And engaged in some land transactions with the college's money that were... I don't know if they benefited her. Either they benefited her financially, personally, or just were mismanagement in a way that they may not welcome the increased scrutiny that comes with an additional presidential run. And I know they have several luxury houses that have come to light that people are paying more attention to now.
Yeah, a little shady. She's got a little shady stuff going on there for sure. So do you see anybody coming forward? Wait. Let's get to the second tier. The Michael Avenattis, the Oprah Winfreys.
Yes. Well, let's not place those two in the same...
Okay. All right. But what do you think on the second tier before we move on?
Well, Avenatti, I think, is done. And good riddance.
Toast, like in the crisp?
He hasn't delivered on any of his promises. So if Stormy Daniels, we'll see how that wraps up. He could come out smelling like a rose, I suppose. It's possible. But he said that he... for family reasons, is pulling out. And actually, he was mocked on Twitter by, the family reason is, of course, he was charged with domestic violence. But then somebody, I think it was maybe his ex-wife or a relative, actually said, this is for family reasons. We've asked him not to. So, in any case, but Oprah, though. Now, that's a question. Oprah Winfrey could generate her own self-funding to get the campaign started. She has no problem writing herself a check. Mm-hmm. She's got the name recognition, and she sees what Donald Trump was able to do with celebrity. Now, I can't claim that I'm originated this thought myself. I had heard somebody else talk about this, but Donald Trump has spoken of running for president for 30 years now, mm-hmm. and he has examined issues of how he would be as president for 30 years. So Oprah Winfrey is a very smart woman. I have a lot of respect for her intellect, but for somebody who hasn't thought about public policy from the perspective of being someone who controls public policy, I don't think that makes them a great president or probably a great candidate. At the same time, though, connecting with people is her number one gift. And she's the best, maybe the best that ever existed at that.
Yeah, and her communication skills are amazing. And a lot of women really like her.
Yeah. Love, actually.
Yeah.
Not just like her, love her. And, I mean, until she comes out strongly against, I mean, the only negative thoughts I have about Oprah Winfrey are when she supports politicians and causes that I dislike. Otherwise, there's nothing disagreeable about her. So that may be new for her, too. I mean, appearing on stage in support of the Obamas is a little bit different than actually telling people, hey, we're going to take away your X, Y, or Z, which she will have to do as a candidate. So that'll be interesting to see. But right now, she's, I think, in a universe where most people just fawn over her. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to run for president.
Yeah, anybody from the business world that you see
that Starbucks guy
throwing their hat in the ring?
Maybe that Starbucks guy, Howard Schultz, I think is his name. He's talked about it. And I don't know if we count Michael Bloomberg as the business world because he straddles politics as well. But he may go as well.
Alrighty. Well, the reason I keep saying contenders like Rocky Balboa is because you're from Philly, right? And it was interesting watching the ball drop the other night, just a little side note. And I realized that all those pop culture singers, etc., I don't know. So I thought maybe I should explain to those who are younger than me who Rocky Balboa is. Can you give them a little
that needs an explanation in 2019
well,
still? Really?
I think so, yeah.
The new Rocky movie, I think, was in major release. Rocky Balboa is the greatest fictional fighter that's ever lived. Son of Philadelphia, to be sure.
To be sure.